In this video, I will tell you how to avoid tutorial hell when you are a software developer. If you are new here, I'm Julian, and on Eat the Blocks, I help you to become a blockchain developer. So I'm a software developer with about 10 years of experience, and I've been stuck in tutorial hell for a long time, something like 3 years. And it caused me to almost give up programming. At the end, I was finally able to get out of tutorial hell, and that's when I found my first six-figure job, but I almost didn't make it. If I had known in advance what is tutorial hell, it would have saved me so much time, because that's the wrong way to learn programming, so you gotta avoid this at all costs. So what is tutorial hell? Well, here is my tutorial hell story. So when I got started in programming, I was very curious. I wanted to learn everything, and I wanted to become very good at programming so that I could find a job. So I started to watch tutorials, mostly on YouTube, and I loved it so much. You know, you just finish a tutorial, you have this feeling that you have learned something new, so I wanted to do it again. So let's watch another tutorial, let's learn some more. It makes sense, right? So every day I spent several hours binging on tutorials. And at that time I was living with roommates, and my roommates were like, "Hey dude, are you okay? You're like Neo in the Matrix, like with the crazy VR learning machine." And I thought, hey, like, don't you think that's too many tutorials for today? Isn't it like binging on Netflix? But then I told myself, well, yes, kind of like Netflix, but not exactly, because at least I'm learning something. Really? Well, kind of. So one of the biggest problems of tutorial hell is that it's a huge rabbit hole. So there is always something else to learn, like another framework, another programming language, another cool project. Is really infinite, and as the time goes by, it gets worse and worse as more and more tech is created. So where is the beginning? Where is the end? You can get stuck forever. The next problem is that following tutorials is just too passive, especially video tutorials. You just watch the instructor do the coding, you just sit and relax and you enjoy the show, but you don't have to actually do anything. So it's a little bit better if at least you try to type the code yourself and you try to run it, and sometimes you run into issues and you have to solve this issue, and that's when you learn something. But most people don't do this. And even if you do this, you are just following the instructions of someone, but you are not really building yourself. That's why a lot of people who are in tutorial hell have a lot of knowledge, but they cannot build anything themselves. They always need a tutorial. They need someone to show them how to do it. And that's a big issue, because if you work for somebody, most likely you won't have the tutorial to do what your boss wants you to do. Or if you want to do your own project, most likely you won't find the tutorials you need. So another issue with tutorials is that they are too easy. So most tutorials are just beginner level, some are intermediate, but that's rare, and almost none of them are expert level. So you stay stuck at beginner level forever, you just never get better. So that's very frustrating. Another problem with tutorials is that it's very easy to learn something outdated, because you know the tech moves so fast. So for example, you spend 1 hour watching a tutorial, and at the end you realize that it's outdated. The code doesn't run on your computer, so congrats, you've just wasted your time. So how do we avoid tutorial hell? Well, the first step is to set a goal. What are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to learn web development? Are you trying to learn blockchain development, AI? And you have to be very specific. For example, in blockchain, there are a lot of sub niches. And even if you are not sure 100% what you want to do, just pick a niche and stick to it. And you can always change later, but at least you have a plan. So once you have your goal, then make a list of topics that you need to learn to be competent in this niche. And that's it. From there, it will be much easier to control the scope of what you're learning. The next thing is to set a time limit. So for example, you give yourself 10 hours per week to watch tutorials. You are in control, not YouTube. If there are too many tutorials to watch, you just don't watch them, and tutorials have to fit your time limit. It's not you who has to adapt to how much content there is. Next, don't learn several ways of doing the same thing. For example, let's say, React. There's no need to learn Angular. They do the same things. Both are front-end framework to build dynamic front-ends. So you don't gain anything by learning another way to do the same thing. Just pick the most popular framework in a certain category and you already covered the biggest part of the job market. Next, accept that you can't learn everything. There are entire areas of software development that you will have to take for granted. We are walking on the shoulders of giants. For example, how does an operating system work? Do you need to know this? The basics of it, but not the details. There are a lot of black boxes that we have to accept as such without diving into the rabbit hole. We have to stay at the interface, at the API level, and we are just happy that it works. And the last thing to fight tutorial hell is to remember that you learn best when you are active and when you are trying to find the solution yourself without listening passively to somebody. You need to grow this cycle where you first start a new project, you are very excited, trying to build something new, then you are stuck, you struggle, you are trying to find a solution, you feel a little bit frustrated, and finally you find a solution and you have an aha moment, and then you start again. This is when you learn best. And because doing coding challenges is the best way to learn, I've built an entire learning platform for this. This is called the 30 Days Academy. For each coding course, we have 30 coding challenges and solutions. Right now, we are focused on blockchain, but later we will expand to other topics in programming. So if you use the link down below, you will get a special discount. All right, that's it for this video. Bye.